Uh, Mike Wicks. Yeah. Oh, there's a title ZZZ. There you go. That was a very much a yesterday thing. Gotta wake up early so you can leave early because you're going to Manchester. Is there an event? What on earth are you doing? Ah. Hey. Music's too good. How are you guys doing? I don't know. Hey, Red. Because I was a developer. What do you mean by many years back? I mean, I've been a developer since like 20. When did I graduate? 2018. 8 years. And even before that, I mean, I've always been a software guy. Stom means frame in Swedish, so why Stomwork would be a nice name. Stom seems interesting. It also sounds like a dessert. I wouldn't complain if you gave me some Stom. Just realised that the camera's like a little off. That works. Not like Stom or Stolmer. I put the Smash Bros soundtrack on, by the way. We were watching 12 years ago. What year is it? So like 2014? Were you watching me like during when I was like playing Man vs. Machine and stuff? Nice. Well, how have you been? What's adulthood like? I don't know why I'm fucking around with this. I'm just kind of like easing my brain into what we're doing. Helps if English had a consistent pronunciation. Stom. What do you mean, stoma? Graduated and got a job as a web developer. Money's been good. Hell yeah, buddy. That's terrific news. What have you been doing with your newfound wealth? Sports car? House? Both? I feel like this isn't really having much of an impact. Setting up for a car. You're interested in a particular model? I want to get like a Yaris or a Mini Cooper or something. I love Toyota. Oh, I would love a Toyota. I lost my test in one actually. That was a while ago. Oh, that feels about right. Do they drive cars here? Yes, it's just very expensive. Ford Fiesta Business. Do they still make Fiestas? I thought they... Or do you mean like a used one? Oh, is it Ford Focus they discontinued? The E isn't silent and the O is like O and cool. Dome? Stormer? Stuma. Stoom. Maybe. Ford Fiesta would be good. If I use one for now, I haven't been working that long. Well, the funny... Like, I was looking into cars again the other day. Clearly hadn't bought one. Post-COVID, they've like doubled in price for a used car. And the Netherlands has some pretty strict fees for owning a car. It's gotten to the point that like you can buy a brand new car for 26 grand, and a used version will be like 22 grand. Like something with like 50 to 100,000 kilometers on it. And at that point, it's like only a few thousand difference, but you're getting it brand new, with 0 years on its. The Dutch have this thing where like, if it's a brand new car, you only have to have it checked every like 3, 4, 5 years or something, and then after that it's like every 2 years, then it's every 1 year. It's insane. Like it's almost, if not literally, cheaper to buy a new car now, which is insane to me. Oh, it would be if it weren't for the fact that the Dutch also have a fee for buying a car, which is new. The first time something's licensed in this country, there's like there's a licensing fee, so a car could suddenly cost like another 5 grand or something, which is bonkers. But yeah, I was thinking like I could maybe pick up like a banger for like 5k. Shit doesn't exist anymore. And a banger when I was younger was like 500. So I was thinking I'll up it a little bit. Post-COVID, nah. A banger would be like 15k. Assuming I want like a car that lasts, like if I wanted to get like a Toyota or a Honda or something, you can buy obviously like a used Polo for like 5 grand, but it'll have 200,000 kilometers on it and like a dodgy history. The insurance alone will cost more than the car, so there's always a weird trade-off. So, what about a second bike? I have 2 bikes. Could leave one of them at a station, but I'd still be having to get a train to that station. Eh? Oh well. Well, and you want to resell for nearly the same price? Yeah. For now, I don't need a car. But should I ever have to commute many days a week, it might be financially viable just because the trains are so expensive. I also don't like driving. Like, I like driving, but I don't like driving on the road. I don't like people. It gives me, like, anxiety. So I'd rather put it off unless... If I'm saving like 500 euros a month by owning a car over the train, then yeah, maybe, but I don't know. It's mostly an issue when like people like, you know, the trains stop for whatever reason, and then you're trapped somewhere. That sucks. It's not infrequent. Ramwerk. Ramwerk sounds like framework. Huh? But yeah, cars are odd, and the petrol in this country, is, if not the most expensive in Europe, because you know Switzerland exists. It's up there. It's so expensive here that people will drive to Belgium or Germany to fill up their car, and like the extra however many kilometers to get there is worth it because of taxes. That's what it means. Yeah, I get that. So I'm just enjoying like the little football that I've made. It reminds me of the thing that spawns in Team Fortress if someone has like the football boots. Oh, it resolved. This one doesn't want to get picked up. It's nice having them fade out, isn't it? Gas and petrol in Greece are fucked as well. Is your government at least like subsidizing the cost, or are you still having to pay through the nose for it? Whatever. Alright, anyway, let me get onto like the real meat and potatoes. We were, a few streams ago, we were looking at the render gameplay background system and so on, and we were refactoring our, here you are, Donut. Ah, now he's doing it. We were refactoring our game to be 3D. I say in air quotes because while we have 3D coordinates, everything is still drawn as like a flat quad. But we were making use of that 3D to draw things in front of and behind things. And the idea was build a car part by part from Alibaba. It might be cheaper. Apparently if a car is a 50-year-old classic, you don't have to pay road tax. So maybe I'll just get like an old Beetle. But yeah, I want to make it so if the wall is above you, then you are drawn on top of it, like this. But if a wall is below you, oh, a bit like this. I like how it looks, because this is black. I want it to look like the wall's going over you, so it's like an overlay. Thank you, Red. Good luck. I wish you continued luck with your web developer role. Keep it real. Whoa. Yo. Thanks for maxing the sub. Fireworks. When are you gonna get your wool cape, dude? Hang on, is that a thing? Twitch has badges. Maybe did I never make one above the 82-month subscriber? What's my own badge? This one? 108-month subscriber. It's the 7.5 year badge. I made Rainbow Senko. I've been a partner for 108 months. Isn't that crazy? Which is crazy. I guess if you just keep doing it. Alright, anyway, let me try and remember what we were doing. We had some... Yeah, we're not doing the shear anymore. We had some magic number somewhere. I was just using this thing. Oh, I love this song. I used this in my own Game Maker Smash Brothers game. Why didn't you accept the 5 million check from Kick to stream on that? They didn't send me one. Actually, let me check my... No. Wait. Did they ever send me one? Probably not. I'm not big enough. Kick. Is it just called Kick, or is it called Kick.com? I don't have any emails from Kick.com. Kick stream? Kickstarter? Twitch? I don't think Kick ever messaged me. Quake Champions, closed beta continues tomorrow. That's an old email. Discord DMing me when I was a partner. That was crazy. Alright, well anyway. Aye. Hey Bowser. What tea are we all drinking today, chat? Let me think. So, Donut, I remember DM me some example to have a peek at for this. I've forgotten what the contents was. Let's have a look. So the idea would be that the Y of the tile would be its Z, maybe with a little offset, because technically the bottom left of the tile is its origin, and the player is in the center, but let's see. He sent me some shear information. Oh yeah, I remember. So we're technically drawing the map in these lines. I hope you're ready for good music, by the way. This is the Brawl soundtrack. Do I have the Brawl soundtrack? No. Oh, that's one I'm missing. Pick? I don't remember. But yeah, we split up the walls. I think we're probably drawing, I don't know. Let's say 10 lines, something like that. I don't know. Maybe 8. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the idea was to draw a little more than necessary and discard everything outside of its current Y. Let me try and recall. So the message from him was, I thought about how to prevent the gaps that come from how the full screen shader isn't really full screen anymore. So where's paint? So if you remember before, we were just drawing one rectangle on the screen and then shading it. And in the shader, it was, you know, doing whatever. But it meant there were technically no seams. We're now drawing a bunch of these and just kind of hoping that they stick together, which they mostly do, but occasionally don't. So you'll sometimes see like a kind of line between one of them for like a second. The idea was to basically draw the exact same thing for every strip, but discard everything except the current row in the fragment shader. That's not expensive to perform the same draw call like 8 times. Because yeah, we can do discard, that's fine. That we're doing that with alpha. Not really. I guess we can experiment with it. I know the game's normally running at about 480 FPS or whatever. Like 100 tiles to draw. That's true. So, let me think. This is the full screen one. And then here we are working out which row we're on. Working out the rows, the offset in tiles.y map data offset in y. Like how far through the tile we are. Subtile, I suppose. Z in this case is kind of a misnomer. Well, it's not a misnomer, but it's not quite correct. But it's meant to be based on the Y. It's a little off though, obviously. And here we're doing a transform to make sure that we're on the right spot on the screen. So is the idea that instead of this, is there somewhere else we're providing the Y? Instead of this transform, we do this slicing within the shader itself. I don't know if we have access to the Y in the shader. Except it passes I to the shader. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do we still have something we can override to make use of that? Because yeah, in which case we'd just be drawing the whole screen and discarding everything outside, that's fine. Might as well draw it by hand. Well, I did. Hello, you're about to start college in a few months. DSE with AI machine learning. Machine learning sounds fun. You have good theoretical and you're able to understand hard problems, but you freeze up while programming. Just do more of it. What do you mean you freeze up while programming? If you're able to understand hard problems and you have good theoretical knowledge, what's stopping you from programming? Is it a lack of syntax knowledge? Like you struggle to know what to type to get the results you want? Because that just comes from experience. You just gotta write more code. Tint color.y or z is 2. Let's have a look. Tint color. Are you a vec 4? It's a color, right? So it'll be RGBA. And I guess we're only passing in... Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's make use of Z for now. In which case, I'm just going to copy this over. Do I still need this transform? I think so. That will be the screen size. So we'll do this. I guess we'll keep the eye float. And we'll pass in this into the tint color. Yeah, Z seems like a good idea. And then our 0.f for the last one, just in case. The shepherd guiding everyone with advice. I'm happy to give people advice if they'll follow it. Like if someone comes in and they're saying like I want something concrete to do, and then they do it, then that's cool. If they come in and they're just wasting air, then it's not as exciting. What's your favorite apple? Like, as you know. Lack of syntax knowledge. You don't want to get stuck in... Why do people keep talking about tutorial hell? Just the experience. Just do stuff. I don't remember tutorial hell being a thing. Maybe it is, but like... Just look up the reference documentation. You're quite early on still, so that's okay. It's to be expected that you have to learn. But let's say you were to do a project for a year, or a new project every week, or whatever, you should expect to learn quite a lot, right? Like this project you're looking at right now, my game, certainly didn't start out like this. I didn't start out with an understanding of all this. This all came from just doing it. I think you'll be fine. Like if you're starting college in a few months, you're probably like, what, like 17 or 18 or 16 or something. You've got plenty of time. Just try your best. You'll be fine. People write the code, I won't bother messing around with it and changing to see what it does. Yeah. Just don't tell Donut that we like to do that. He'll tell you off. But not deducing from first principles, but instead experimenting like a child in a sandbox. I'm a child in a sandbox. I like fucking around with the numbers. That's how you end up with the main menu. I'm sure I could sit down and work some of these things out, but sometimes it's nice just to tweak something and see what it does. That's how I learn, at least. First principles my ass, what does that mean? Don't talk to him. Mystic. Well, his suggestion was for me to sit and read through and understand instead of just hacking away, which was a little rude, because I was trying to do that, but I had other things in my mind, so yeah. Works for some things, but maybe for more complicated stuff. Yeah, I agree. How you doing, Mystic? You've had to learn that out the hard way. No, I've been an employed software engineer for... I don't know how long. Somewhere between 6 and 8 years. Like, you know... Don't assume poorly of me, please. Maybe you've worked in a sandbox. I'm going to be real with you, I did not pick up embedded engineering by treating it as a sandbox. I read through a lot of fucking documentation. I'm aware of what it takes to learn more complicated things. Sometimes you work for 7 or 8 hours on one stream. Your mind is other places, and you just kind of want to hack away and tweak some dials. It's... The right thing to do would be to end the stream much earlier, and like do it when I'm not being distracted by chat and I can think. I've had to do that a few times. I think I did that with the map tiling. Anyway, pessimism aside, we're passing in I into the tint color. So if I go into my fragment shader, which I think is just called full screen, the tint, where are you? Is it called specular? What's it being passed in as? Currently it's the map data offset in tiles. So fragment tint color.xy. Let's have a float I is equal to fragment tint color.z. We'll come up with a better name than I. Let's say row. I don't know. Hello, call me Mr. Memory Allocation. Hello, programmer. Hello. You never heard of a self-employed? I'm not self-employed. I mean employed, like I've worked at a company. I'm not self-employed. I'm a salaried man with a contract and a train that I have to take. You got baited. I mean, I've been self-employed. During COVID, I did full-time streaming for like a year or something, and legally I was self-employed. I filed taxes, but I didn't hit the 16 grand or whatever it takes for the government to start taxing you. So technically I didn't pay taxes on it, but I did tell them. How did I learn programming? I used to make games in Game Maker when I was a small man. Like 8 or something. So that needs to vary with I to get very in-depth. Yeah. We're basically just recreating what we had in here, but within the shade I. I understand, buddy. We need to discard everything that's not in the current row. And we also need to vary the Z. I got it. We've got this lovely thing here. History. I was a small man. I had less of a beard. You make games in Cyrillic? I don't know what that is, but cool. I don't know that. Oh, the self-employed engineer. You can't bait me like that. I think I just said I've been an employed engineer, but I understand that it might not have come through clearly. Apologies. You can be self-employed. You can work as an engineer and just take contracts, but there's less common these days. Oh, this said, you mean? Yeah, you know what, actually, we can start with that. So previously we were doing this. Hang on. Fuck it. This is the transform. I don't know where this Z is coming from. Oh, yeah, that's not right. Row Z. So we can just keep it. Okay. We can do this static cast twice. It's not the end of the world. So this isn't quite right, but it's at least doing something. We got something in place, and we can modify this later to get it correct. It's just off by a little bit. Hey, potatoes. Remember watching my streams at 2 AM in 2020? Hell yeah, buddy. You should do the bitcast trick you mentioned on Discord. The pass in I. This isn't good enough? Bitcast trick. So, let me read. In other words, you go back to how the code was before, you draw the map at each, at different Z, but you pass in map data offset in tiles.y parameter. Do we need that? Map data offset in tiles.y as well? We want to compare exact integers. Oh, yeah, because we're passing in a float run, aren't we? Yeah, I remember you mentioning something about this. You be a bounty hunter. I think those jobs are kind of ebbing away. You did some freelance work last year before landing a full-time job. Usually you need some industry experience to start doing freelance. And I mean, you could do freelance for like a school or something where they're not too picky. If you've graduated from somewhere, they might... I've known a couple of people in chat who've done like a few odd jobs for their school. They'll usually help, but a regular old company, it's unlikely without nepotism you'd get a job there without experience. When I was a young boy. But, My Chemical Romance. Anyway, one neat hack for parsing insta shaders without losing precision is to do bitcast float on the C++ side. Excellent, thank you. It might help to parse in world space Y. We'll see. Yeah, I guess I'll keep that trick in mind. So instead of static cast I, we need to do std bitcast float. I haven't done this before. How does this differ in this case from regular float? STD bitcast. Because I is going to be a relatively small number, right? I suppose we'd have to do like floor or something in the vector code to make sure that 1.001 is equal to 1.001 or whatever. Anyway. So we do that, and then on the GLSL side, you do float bits to int. So silly music. Is this Sonic music? No, still Mario. Alright, float bits to int. Bitcast is basically like reinterpret cast, const float pointer, reference to I, except not undefined behavior. Okay, thank you. Okay. You made an app in school for parents to see if the teacher is sick and so they know if they can skip those hours and stay home. It's still in use but not maintained. That's really cool. Good use of an app as well. That's nice. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, we had civics or PSHE or like one of those weird subjects where it's about being a citizenship, I don't know. And we had a task that had something to do with cleaning, recycling, upcycling, I don't know. I made like a fishing game in Game Maker and brought it in on a USB stick. It was very impressive. I thought they'd be more impressed, I'll be perfectly honest, because this was like 2000 and something. I kind of thought, you know, this kid's coming, this like 10-year-old or whatever is coming in and has made like a game. You had like a hook, like this, and like you'd move it around the top and you press space and it would go, and like I had a bunch of randomly generated fish, like swimming left and right. And I had like bits of trash, like bags and like boots. And like you got points for fishing up like the boots and stuff, and you lost points for fishing up the fish. And I just thought it was cool. Had like a little water and stuff. Yeah, I was lame enough to not be impressed. I would have been impressed. Hello, Yokini. Hello, Mario. We'll start little, yeah. The other well-defined way is to make a temporary buffer of bytes, memcopy the integer's value into it, memcopy that into a float, but Bitcast just does it directly. And it's const expr compatible. Nice. I'll try and remember that. That's useful. That's very useful. Okay. So, let me go back to our old working code. What we were doing before to work out the Y was this. And the transform we were using was view size Y minus I plus subtile Y. So we were multiplied by tile size. So tile size is 16, I float can be 0, whatever. Subtile Y is how far into the subtile we are. You know what, maybe I could just pass in this calculation in as well. I don't know if that's too much. Maybe I could even do the calculation in there. Do we have view size available in there? We have view size in tiles being passed in. You see here. View size divided by tile size. Divided by. View offset in tiles. I'm just seeing what we have available already. I'm thinking about how we might recreate this. Extension to see the results of your project. I don't know what you mean. This here? The diff? This is just source control. I like git graph, if you want a good git graph plugin, so you can see your history in a nice tree. But this is just VS Code. There's nothing fancy here. Can you explain your code for a bit? We're rewriting our tile shader, so the thing that draws the map to the screen, to be in strips, like this. Each strip will have its Z, so its depth, varied by its Y, so position vertically. That's it. And I'm currently trying to work out how to do that. We were sort of doing it before, well, we were doing it before outside of the shader, but we'd occasionally end up with these splits where you'd have like a tiny line between. And also, I'm not certain the Z was being calculated correctly. I think it was a little off. There's depth. So yeah, the idea is, if you're standing here, then you'd be on top of this tile, but then behind this tile. So the stuff closer to the bottom of the screen is on top of the thing above it, on top of the thing above it, on top of the thing above it, and so on. Anyway, let me think. So previously, we were calculating the transform, so the position on the screen in this case, of the row with, from the bottom of the screen, so view size Y, actually from, I guess, the top of the screen, view size Y, so if the view is 100 pixels tall, we'd start here, and then we'd subtract I, so the row, plus the subtile Y, so how far through the tile we currently are, because obviously as we move around the screen, it's smooth, it doesn't snap to tiles. You could have half a tile visible off screen. I think that's what that is. We multiply that by tile size, so we're at row 0, so we're at 0, we're here. I think. Or is it the other way? I think it's like that, because we do top to bottom, I think. Does that make sense? So yeah, we'd be at the screen height, and then the next, when I comes around to 1, we'd have 1 times 16, so we'd be here. 1 times 16, 2 times 16, 3 times 16, 4 times 16, so on and so forth. Yeah. And the idea is to discard everything, every pixel in the shader that's not in our current row. So, let me think. Row, let's call this row index to be succinct. Do we have tile size in here somewhere? I think we do. We have tile size, so that's nice. So we can have, how are we going to pass in subtile Y? Can we do that? We were calculating it as view offset in tiles minus map data offset. So we've got view offset in tiles here, and we have map data offset in tiles here, so we can calculate that. That'll be subtile Y is sorry. We had view offset in here, right? Actually, is that view offset in tiles? Yeah. That'll be texture offset. Where are we using that? Am I... Fragment texture offset. Okay, I don't even exactly know what's being passed in right now. You're going to sleep now. Good night, dude. Hello, Patil. Bro, what is this? This is GLSL fragment shader. The name's Spellgrund. Like play or game. I don't know what Grund is. Work? Groundwork? No, Grund? Does Grund mean ground? Maybe not. Dude, this song has sampled that one. Whatever that sound is. Anyway, whatever texture offset is being passed in as, I'm not really certain. View offset. Foundation. Game foundation. Belgrin sounds cool. Well, let's just assume I know how to get this. It would be view offset in tiles minus y. I'll have to work out how this is. Position, normal, tangent, bin tangent, etc. Not sure what's happening. We're listening to the Brawl soundtrack. Can we not access the texture offset in here? I thought we could. Maybe not. Maybe that's not passed in. Might have to think about that one. We'll work that out in a moment. Music's good. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's that. So the Z would be map data offset in tiles.y. So, do we need to know the Z? Actually, hang on. No, I don't think we do. We need the transform. So, I'll say vec2 row. Is it vec2? Bottom, top? Float row bottom. Float row top. You need semicolons. The final y integer you want to compare against is the y of the ivec2 that gets passed into texel fetch. Map data textures. The space of the integer pass should be the same as that. Okay. Bye, bro. Goodbye, bro. See ya. What you need to learn right now is finish learning the class keyword and vectors. Those sound like good ones to understand. Sticker Brush Symphony? Dude, Smash Brawl. What were they thinking? They just came out with that. They were like, here's the best game ever made. It's on a disc. Crazy. God, I love Smash Brawl. Do we have the view size? View size in tiles, I guess. Oh, we can do texel fetch, I guess. Is that what we do? Right? It's 2,000 hours in Ultimate. Oh, wow. Brawl's very fun. I'd recommend it. You can play it in Dolphin if you're able to get the ISO off a disc legally. The discs used to be really cheap. I don't know if they still are. I know CEX in the UK used to sell Brawl for like a $5. I don't know why it was so cheap. People are crazy. I guess it was the best selling game. It was like one of those popular games. You can get a HD texture pack and stuff for it if you want. Not that the game massively needs it, but you can. Anyway, get distracted. This is previously how we were working out where to get the Y, I believe. View size.y. Maybe we can use view size. I can probably do all this work at the bottom, can't I? We have view size in tiles, right? Texture scale. I'm not sure you're working towards the right thing right now. I was basically just trying to port the old code to new. But I'm not entirely sure how I'm meant to get stuff like the texture scale and offset from this stuff. If that makes sense. My idea was we'd get like view size in tiles divided by tile size. That would give us this view size.y. And then we take off. I don't really know how we. Oh yeah, subtile y. Row index plus subtile y multiplied by tile size. And then it would be something like. I don't know if this is the right order, but something like. Like the maths is a little off, but this was sort of what I was working towards. This was the idea, at least. But I think some things are a little bit off. You're gonna go visit Twitch. Okay. Forget about that and work on how to discard the right row. What do you mean forget about that? That's what I'm doing. Stop what you're doing and do what you're doing. Just for a moment. The final y integer you want to compare against is the y of the IVEC2 that gets passed into texel fetch. This thing. I don't know what we add this half for. Stop for a moment and think about what you're doing. I want to calculate where within our texture we are. So I suppose I don't necessarily have to care about the view size. I can just use the texture size. If I were to draw it, I would say like we're being given this big canvas and some integer row. Let's say it's somewhere a bit more in the middle. We're doing this section. We've got this whole texture. And I think by dividing the size of the texture by tile size, and then multiplying that by the index, that gives us the position. And then what? You multiply that again by tile size to get like the real y that you're drawing at, and then discard everything above that and below this minus or plus tile size. Hi, Mario. Do you prefer working with a similar? I've got a dual monitor. I would rather have 3. It's not enough space if you're streaming to only have 2 monitors. Because my OBS takes up most of my side monitor. And then I've literally got a space about this big on the other, from like the side of my side monitor for spare. You're thinking in screen space, thinking map data space instead. Oh. Is it not a full screen shader? Oh. Are we not filling up the screen? Or should I be zooming out a bit and thinking, well, this is the space we're within, but the map as a whole is like this big. You have a monitor. Can't you buy used monitors like super cheap? Like an old 60 Hertz something or other. Like if this is the whole map, you know, it's got all sorts of shapes going on. Then yeah, I guess we need to think in one space. Read what you said before. The final y integer you want to compare against. The final y, so what? When you're at the maximum of the screen, like you're on the final row? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean at the bottom of the current row, which is here? is the y of the IVEC2 that gets passed into texel fetch, etc. So the space of the integer you pass in could be the same of that. I would assume that the IVEC2 we're passing into texel fetch encompasses this space. So I would assume this is, well, it's probably the bottom left, right? Or do we draw from the bottom left or the top right? The eyes for the 4 thingy, yeah. The map data, importantly, it's a whole tile integer, not a pixel. Whole tile integer. So even if like we're halfway in a tile, it's the position of the thing down here, or like what do you want about? Or do you mean the fact that the map staging buffer is in reality a bunch of Zelda music? Bunch of integers packed together like this, with like tile information. Like this is the data we're passing in, right? Not that you can really read this. The map staging buffer is just a bunch of tile IDs, right? And we need to know where within this buffer, we're actually, we're looking at this portion of the screen. Sorry, I should redraw this so it makes sense. You can't really read that, I think. Here we go. So we're passing in a data set that looks like this. It's square. You've been here since... Yeah, he's been here from the start. Yeah. Whatever. So this is our map data. This is like a wall tile. This is a floor tile, etc. And we basically want to take a slice of that, like this. But the view obviously could be over any number of tiles, right? Let's say that we are quite a small screen, and we're looking in this section here. In which case, did you say it's in the bottom left? I don't know if we start in the bottom left or the top left. I think that's quite important. I would assume that the top left of the staging buffer is that way. And then this is that way, and this is that way, and this is that way. And I would assume that we start from the bottom left. You don't remember if it's in the bottom left or the top left? I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Let's just presume it's bottom left. We can always flip it. If we want to start in the bottom left, then the vec2 we're passing in is containing this data. Is it? I don't know if you can see that. But it's the vec2, IVEC2 that we're passing in this data here. Question mark. Let's pretend the screen only has like a handful of rows, right? Like this. We've only got 3 rows we need to draw. For the first row... Actually, it does matter quite a lot if we're starting in the bottom left. I mean, it's a case of seeing like if it draws terribly, if instead of plussing tile size, we, or row size, or whatever we're doing, instead we do the max height multiplied by tile size minus tile size. Whatever we wrote earlier. Anyway, that's what this is, I guess. This is the IVEC2. So, tile set tile indices plus fragment offset in tile. It's the one above. It's the one above. What was I saying? The second texel fetch is the actual pixel. We do oh shit, we've got 2 texel fetch. Okay. Okay, sorry, no, this is making more sense. So map data texture. Map data texture is that grid of 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's our tile information. Tile set texture. Maybe I should flip these so they match the order. Tile set texture is the actual pixels. that go. Oh, I love Zelda music, dude. All right, that makes sense. So this thing here, it's a floor of fragment tile in map data, which is fragment tile, fragment position in tiles, minus map data offset in tiles. So that is this red thing. And then when we're drawing within the red thing, that splits up into the second texel fetch to actually say, you know, this is the tile you're drawing. It looks something like this. It's like a little T. That gets picked up in the second loop here. It's like, okay, you want this one, and then you want this pixel, and then you want this pixel, and then you want this pixel. Oh, and now we're in a new tile. I guess it might draw the whole tile first, but you get the idea. Let's say we've drawn the whole thing. Then it will go to the next tile. And this tile is 2. And so, okay, fine, whatever. This is complicated, isn't it? It'll be really fun once we've solved it, I think. Let's see. This thing, I need to give this a name. Fragment tile indices. Tileset tile indices. Maybe this should be floored fragment tile position or something. Maybe a better name exists. By the way, you guys ever watched the trailer in 2008 for the Shadow Gazer? Maybe, maybe not. Any games you plan to play? Me? There's that new open access like Skyrim game that the trailer came out for, right? Whatever it's called. That looks cool. For the purpose of discarding, we only care about which row was selected. Yes. Yes, that makes sense. Shadow Gazer. I don't think you would have. Ah, it's an I am error page on Zelda Fangame Central. King Mob made it. I think I managed to find a link on archive.org. Oh, if you Google Shadow Gazer, there's a lot of photos and stuff. Basically, it was King Mob was making like a Minish Cap style fan game, and I was following it like really closely when I was younger, and then he just dropped it. He said he was going to make it into his own game, and then he never did. But the trailer for that used the song we just listened to, so I always think about it. Very influential game to me. It didn't exist. Yeah, it was really cool. 2007, maybe even earlier. Oh, the trailer! It still exists. 2007, 2008. Yeah, there you go. There you go. If you're wondering what my inspirations were to be a programmer, that sort of thing. It's cool stuff. Anyway, I guess the row we're on doesn't necessarily... Yeah, hang on a moment. Row index and floored fragment tile position should be int/ivec2. Yeah, because we're flooring it, right? That's fair. And what was the other one? Row index. Yeah, because it was this thing. Yeah. Hang on a moment then. So when we're performing texel fetch on map data textures, this is the row, the Y of this, right? So that's our row, right? Well, that's the row within. If this doesn't equal our row index, maybe it needs to be calculated a little bit. But it'll be something like that, right? You might need to modify it a bit. Whether or not it matches exactly or not. I guess we can find out, because we might be able to move this further up and then dodge having to do some calculations. I was also under the impression that conditionals in fragments shaders were a bit... not a good idea, but I guess with discarding it's okay. Oh, hang on. It's not too far off. Let's see. So, there's no way to get a print or a breakpoint here, right? We could hard code row index to a known value. So let's say if we set it to 0, we can see how it looks. Might as well check and discard before text or fetch is done. Yeah, I'll optimize later. I don't think that shouldn't matter right now. Where we're passing in I, I'm just going to pass in 0. And I should expect either the top or the bottom of the screen to draw. I don't know which. Now my next question is this drawing by mistake? It kind of looks like it's the bottom of the screen, doesn't it? The Y or the Z doesn't look correct. That's another problem. Let me think. And if we set that to 1, does it turn to 1 row above? No. David Dev. It doesn't look like that's actually making an effect, does it? If I set this to 4, we should kind of expect a strip in the middle of the screen to be done. And I don't think that's the case, is it? No, this is clearly not having an impact. I think this is off by 1. Maybe? No, that doesn't make sense, because we're still drawing it. That is strange, right? Because this is the only place that... If I hide this, we shouldn't see any map, right? And indeed, we don't see any map. Well, actually, we see that stuff. I guess we're using the same full screen shader for the floor. So the floor would have to be split up like this as well, by the way. Which is a little... meh. I can just do this for now. I love this song as well. This is like the medley, isn't it? Just have 2 shaders. Yeah, but for now I'm going to do this, but I might just make the second full screen shader, yeah. I was thinking if I ended up doing lighting and all sorts of nonsense, it might be nice to have them combine. We're saying that it's not terribly expensive, you know. This might simplify things a little bit. So I should only expect there to be a tile like in the middle of the screen. Bye, Mario. That's really weird, isn't it? Special row index, that means all the rows. Like -1 or 0xf. Yeah. Bye bye. See ya. Yeah, that's true. I could do that. It would break when people start having 1 trillion Y height monitors, but let's ignore that. What's wrong? Fragment tint color .z. That should be it. That should be 4. Flawed fragment. How about we do equals? So we only discard the middle. Okay, there's something going wrong on the maths here. I think it might need to multiply it by tile size or something. I have a feeling that it's just discarding it's just dealing with the row at the bottom. It's actually very weird, isn't it? Is .y on this maybe not the value I need? What do we normally do? Why are you multiplied by 255? Usually. That's the tile set tile indices. Why are you multiplied? What? Just out of curiosity. That doesn't really make any sense to me, I'll be honest. Maybe it would be you. It's weird to me that that didn't actually change anything. Let's remove this other discard. No, actually, that's just alpha. That shouldn't change anything. Unless... Just double check. Oh. Okay, that last thing is incorrect. So maybe we just need to fix the calculation on that. Since the texture has U and 8 T's in it, but when you sample it gets converted to 0 to 1 floats. Oh. That's the this. That doesn't make sense for that, actually. To get them back to the U and 8... Oh, to go from floats to U and 8T. Ah, okay. Do we not need to multiply? Well, but this is the there's no way to debug this. That's quite annoying. I'm just gonna say, do we not need to do any modification to row index? Let's also just call the loop once instead of many times. I hate it done. What did I do? Oh. Good music to do. I doesn't exist, obviously. Okay, fine. Okay. We're only calling the loop once, and it only seems to be discarding the bottom. But we're passing in 4. Isn't that weird? And now we're only discarding... Hang on a minute, let's think. Let's think this through. Row index. Let's put this back to how it should be. I think this isn't really helping. Be in a loop. Map data size in tiles is not what we want. Maybe. IVEC to it's all the things that could potentially be visible, right? Or if the tint color gets forwarded properly. I guess we could try passing it somewhere else. I don't know where else. I mean, we could try passing it into the W. Maybe Z is being fucked with. Vertex to fragment interpolation messes with that. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Vertex to fragment interpolation. How does it work? Do you feed... You have the vertex shader. Do you feed the fragment shader to the vertex shader? And it tries to read from the fragment... Or it tries to execute the fragment shader with... Try a basic static cast float. Okay. Hang on, let's go back. Do a plain int cast instead of float bits to int. Let's actually see what happens with this. Nothing. Float bits. I'm just thinking maybe I simplify it even more and I just try... Oh, hang on. Yeah, that seems to be working, doesn't it? That's strange. Something about the that float cast behavior was off. I wonder what it was. Let's just do that then. That's weird. What do you think was happening with the float bit cast? So if I pass an I, we should start to see something good. Okay. No wall tiles. The rasterizer probably messed with the bit pattern for some reason. Oh yeah. Oh, let's try that thing. I like that suggestion of just instead of passing in I, we pass in, because now the Z is a little off, obviously. We pass in something big. So static cast I. Just do this. Instead of this, I'm going to pass in. Can I just type in hex, right? Is that allowed? Or two? Yeah. Static. I don't know what casting 0xFFFFF in would do. -1. Yeah, -1's fine. That's what I suggested earlier, I guess. Oh. Of course. Let's see. If row index is larger than 0, or larger than equal to 0, and discard. Otherwise, we don't need to discard. We're just calling it once. Right. We're getting somewhere. What I really should have added was an ability to move the screen up by subpixels. I kept meaning to do that. Just add a button in here. Probably use 0, 0 to make it portable. And then what, -1 from it in the shader. More strict with type mismatches like that. It's an int, right? It's not a uint. You should have -1, right? Oh, you mean 0.0 in here? Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. Because it's a float. Yeah, okay, fine. Wait, is it a float? No, it's an int. Or what do you mean? This is an int. It would be 0, right? We'd still check against 0, wouldn't we? Yeah, okay. But that's good to know. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Alright, so this seems to be working. I can cut away all this chaff. Oh, dude. It just keeps winning. Oh, fuck. I love Smash Brothers. Alright, I think we can just put it above the output, basically. This is like the best spot to put it. Okay, let's get the Z working then. So I do feel a little smart, even if I've been poked and prodded to get here. I'm told how to do it. So currently we're using map data offset in tiles.y plus I. If I just do +1, how does that look? This is where I will sandbox, because I feel like it. Off? What about -1? Because I thought we had something stupid here before, right? It's which row we're in, right? If we're in a particular row, you're... That's not quite it. It's upside down. I think this was the issue we saw before. You see how I'm shooting up here and it's on top? And down here it's on... It should be inverted from what it is now. So it should be all of this, but negative. And then maybe we don't need that -1 thing. That might be off. That might be quite wrong. Oh. That's not quite it. Actually, in fact, did not fix diddly shit. The middle line is like there. Maybe it's already correct without it. Oh, without the eye? Well, then eye's not involved. Then this is the same for every loop, right? I'd have thought. Somehow that's... I think that is the case. Hang on, I remember the bullets are always on top of things. The thing you pass into the shader, row index. This thing. Oh, what were you saying? All you have to do is get I row index into the right range. All you have to do to get I into the right range is to add map data offset tiles in Y. Wait, it's not correct? I thought the renderer was correct. This has no impact on Z, right? This is just the pixels. The pixels are in the right spot, aren't they? Map data offset in tiles is world space, it might be correct. Sorry, do you not see the game? You can see the game. This is correct, right? What are you checking? This is how the map looks. This is correct, I think. What's your concern? Which row gets not discarded? Oh. Well. Just type in 4. Have a look. It's only rendering 4, which if we count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3... It looks like the 4th row. It's a bit not scientific, but 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. That feels correct, doesn't it? Maybe instead of 4, I use a better number like 1. That's definitely correct. The question is that the same... The question, is that the same 4 as what I equals 4 responds to? I just pass in 4. That would just have the same effect, right? Is what you're asking? No, it doesn't. No, I see what you mean. Actually, no, that's 4. No, that's correct. If I set this to 1... Sorry, I forgot that I switched between 4 and 1. To me, those look the same. In this case, we're rendering this strip 100 times. Right? I can remove the for loop and just make sure we're only calling it once and set... Well, I isn't even being involved now at all. This is just doing it once. That should be correct, I think. Okay, moving on. Let's moving on for now, I suppose. Looks okay. Let's get the Z working. If row Z make any sense before, then map data offset tiles must have been world space. Yes. It's upside down though. If I remember correctly, positive Z is into the screen, right? So we should have it inverted, because Y, it should be minus Y, right? I think. Is that correct? It's not quite right. I mean, it might just be the fact that bullets have that weird offset thing. But you see, like, you can see the cutoff in this. Maybe the flamethrower does the same thing. Actually, the flamethrower is always on top, apparently. That's weird. What did we have before? Because it was a little silly, but it did sort of pretend to work. I was minusing 100 from it. It does need to vary with I, yeah. But then I is not being... I should probably be multiplied by tile size, right? Or no? No, it shouldn't be, right? Because this is the Z of that row, that entire row, because it's in tiles. Yeah. So much Twilight Princess music. Not quite. Not concerned that the bullets up here always appear to be underneath it. The bullies down here always appear to be on top of it. I think it's off by 1. Well, what we did before was minus 100 from it, right? If I bring that back, we should always be on top of it, right? That would be my expectation. We are. So we're within... It's actually weird, the bullets still kind of look like... Oh no, they're on top of it now. Binary searcher, kind of. Minus 25. Minus 1. I thought I tried minus 1 earlier and it didn't work. Which is why I thought I might need to deal with tile size. Yeah, like minus 25 is not quite it. Which is weird. This is really quite weird, right? Minus 64. Like, this feels quite off. Oh look, the player is now... It's based on the position of the camera, by the way. Which I don't think should be the case. It should be based on... Metroid! Oh, look, we're kind of there. But it's clearly... I think it's adding on the camera. Or it's based on the camera position too much. Like, this shouldn't be happening. That explains the weird behavior earlier. It's probably not world space. Yeah, it seems to be off. Yeah, it's view offset in tiles. Instead of that, maybe we should use view... No. View offset in tiles. Which it... Wait, hang on, that should be correct though, right? No, that's view center. It's not like the actual world position of these tiles. That would be... That would be what? Where are we filling this again? In here, right? Tile position. Calculated from this. Based on layer. Layer is what's being passed in? That's not useful. Tile min. Map data offset in tiles. Is this? Yeah, this does look like correct. But why does it vary with the camera? I'm guessing that's because it's using view center. Right? And view center is modified with interpolated target position. But we need like an absolute position in the world. If that makes sense. Currently everything's relative to the cursor. I need to get like the actual Y within world space. Which I'm kind of confused about. Right? Do you think it would have made sense to store view center like without the interpolation or no? Let me think. It should all be interpolated. Okay. I'm just thinking how we're able to draw. Let me think for just a moment. You see, like this bush. The like pixels for the bush are correct, right? Like it's drawing a green here and a light green here and whatever. And no matter how much I shake the screen around, it doesn't just start drawing like a different tile. Whereas the Z is being calculated based on the view center, so the Z will vary with the Y of the screen. We need to detach. We need to use the same information that we're using for the map grid. Somehow, but which we are, which is based on the same view offset, right? Maybe this information we're passing in here we could use. We have map data offset in tiles, which is what we were using, mind you. Minus 64 sounds like it's about the view size dot y divided by 2, doesn't it? Its y should be map data offset in tiles plus I. Is that true? It also feels, can I just say again, it feels inverted. Like, even if this mouse effect was the thing, I feel like it should be the other way around. If that makes sense. Maybe it should be this? Shouldn't it? Each tile's world space Y could be map data offset in tiles plus I. Why plus I? Is that correct? Because Y is the bottom of the first lowest row on screen. In world space. So that would be coordinate 600 or whatever. We're really far off, really far up the map. I adds which row it actually is. It's the bottom left of it, mind you. But why would we have to minus half the screen height from it? Because the player is in the middle. I don't want to. Well, maybe we should take into account the view center somehow. Like to cancel it out. The whole thing should be negative to make things higher up, be further forward. Well, that's what I had earlier. Or do you think I should add them together and then say the negative of that? Maybe I'm getting my basic maths wrong. It's really weird that like minus 32 or whatever, it's such a big number, right? That's obviously not in tiles, right? That's clearly in pixels. Minus 100? Like, I'd understand if the tile was off by 1 or something, but off by 32 is really weird, right? Minus A minus B is the same as it. It's the same result. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Might be the actor says that wrong. That's true. It could be. I mean, I could just pause and see what my Z is like at 0, 0, right? I mean, this is still wrong. Like, if I go to the top of the screen, I'm now on top of that tile. That shouldn't be the case. And if I make this not negative, keeping in mind we're dealing with pretty small numbers, I guess, I'm still on top of it, which makes no sense to me. By suddenly make it from negative to positive doesn't actually seem to have any effect. That seems really weird. Going between negative and positive should absolutely change this, but I guess it's because we're using such a big scalar. It basically we might as well be setting this to minus 50 directly. The actor Z's may be based on the wrong thing. Is this, yeah, good question. Hang on a moment. So I've just set the Z for all of the walls to like a hard-coded number, right? And we are seeing that camera effect. Whoops. Yeah, maybe you're right. Look at this. If the walls all have a Z of whatever I've just given them, we shouldn't be seeing this. What did I give them? I gave them a Z of minus 50, which is weird. Minus 50 should be... They're in screen space, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. I think this is why I wanted to multiply that by 16 earlier. So maybe we should be using tile size then. I don't know how big we can get. It might be okay. So the position on the screen is currently calculated as... Maybe not using the weapon is probably a good idea. Depth here is... Sprite.depth. Very good. Hang on, where am I rendering this stuff? We should be doing a transform here, right? Actor.position.z. I think keeping Z in world space tile coordinates will be better for precision. Okay. It seems that the actor position Z... Oh, Y minus Z. So yeah, do we need to maybe do Y divided by tile size? Something like this. Or the negative of that. We get their Y divided by tile size. Who's texting me? It's Christopher. You should just do actor.z and decide what to pass at the draw site. That's this. Actor.position.z isn't changing. And you can give it the sprite's world space position directly. In the shader, you can't do Z in the shader, right? In the fragment shader, you'd have to do it in the vertex shader. Your certain actor.position is already in screen space. Should be no wait, hang on a moment. Letter to the bottom left of the screen, not the world. Is that true? Position is, well, to screen position, yeah. At which point we are multiplying by tile size already. So yeah, it's actually funny that it's off by so much. Actor.z, by the way, I'm thinking will almost always be 0. I saw a few spaces I made it 1, which is kind of weird. I should fix that. Maybe for now I'll just comment that chunk out because I need to fix that. I think I didn't realize what I was doing yet. Hey, Mabdo. Instead of undoing that complicated expression, just pass in the Z. A lot of talking in the Metroid music, isn't there? Well, actor.position.z is incorrect. Also, it's like 0. This... What do you mean I should update the Z? When I... Or what are you on about? I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Hi, Mabdo. 1 minute. Hi. Instead of undoing that complicated expression, just pass in the right Z directly. Yeah, I'm not... this is just because I think the actor position Z is incorrect. Like, there's a few spaces in the code where I've just randomly set Z to 1, I think. I can check where. Maybe not in maths. Not in here. Not in here. Maybe I'm misremembering. I guess I'm setting it to 0 in some spaces. I just didn't want that to impact anything. Movement system. Right now it's just the bias, but you can redefine it as the final word space Z and pass it in at each draw site. Sure, but then that would require me to just move it, right? That's just me moving things. Like, sure, I can just do this. Fine. But now, wherever I'm adding in that, I need to now calculate it there. So here, instead of weapon depth, it's gonna have to be weapon depth plus equals position dot y Or minus equals? Minus, right? I think it's minus. Without the world to screen position transform. We don't want it in screen. Oh, is it because this... I think this is based on the bottom left of the screen. Okay. Yeah, actually that was the problem. That we were moving the screen around and it was changing things. Well, instead of that, then it would just be transform dot position dot. Well, it would have to be mix, right? Something like this. Yeah. You should still save half of that expression. Is it not something like this? The get draw position part. Well, this is being used for this, for the XY, right? It's just the weapon depth that's not. Takes pausing and stuff into account too. Oh, get draw position. Sorry. I'm mixing my things. I was mixing it up with this. Let's do it like this. Something like that. This looks correct to me. This is obviously for weapons, but for regular entities, this shouldn't be too much harder. So we were doing position and depth. Depth was being calculated as sprite.depth, which is just an offset. So in reality, it should be... I should rename depth to, what was I going to call it? Depth bias. I don't know why I'm calculating it all the way up there. Depth bias minus... And then we grab this stuff again. We're going to have our interpolated position here. We're going to pop that in here. We're going to get our screen position like so. We're going to pop that in here. Depth is going to be depth bias minus interpolated positions Y. And bam. Hello, Rihitu. Interesting. So when it was paused, it doesn't mix. I guess tick interpolation alpha. I don't know why that's the case. Why we were doing that. I guess we were getting like a jitter on screen or something. Is it running? Oh, go. Alright, so we're clearly on top of stuff. I think right now the depth is hard-coded, right? So if we go up enough, we should see something that is on top of us. Or likewise the other way. If we go down, maybe. It doesn't seem to be the case. Hang on, let's set the depth to 0. Let's just say row Z is 0. Z here is also quite incorrect, I think. But let's ignore that for now. So it's 0. Ah, yeah, look. So if I look at my own position, Y is 1. So, is this changing with the screen? It doesn't seem to be. But if I go into the next tile, we're now on top of it. Right, this is almost it. It looks cool, thank you. So we might be getting somewhere. Row Z shouldn't be 0. Row Z should be... map data offset from tiles.y minus I, was it? Well, I guess I cast a float. Let's see. And this might have to be minus map data offset in tiles.y minus on both. Let's see how this looks. We're on top of it. Yeah, we'll try minus on both. Thank you. It does look cool, doesn't it? And look, I think we're now kind of clipping through the tile that we're right next to. See? So this is actually kind of... It's not perfect, but it's kind of perfect, if you get what I mean. Like, we're on top of the one next to us, but under the one to the side. This is now where, instead of discarding, we might want to discard, like, every other pixel to add, like, a weird dithering effect, like you're sticking through it. It's, you know, it's a bit funny. I don't really know the best way to handle that. This is something that maybe that tilt might have dealt with better. Okay, this is kind of looking closer and closer to what we wanted, right? The gun also seems to be using the correct Z. No, the gun's using an upside down Z. It's inverted. Hang on a moment. Weapon depth. So should be minus, I guess. Weapon depth plus equals. This should be minus equals. That might fix it. You guys like the Yoshi music? I do. Alright, let's fix the gun. Now it's on top of us on the bottom and above us here. We might actually want a bit more bias on the weapon. It's not quite right. It's a funny bug. I mean, we're dealing now with world space, or with, yeah, +1 to the map Z. Yeah, that might be it. I mean, this helps with the bias at least. You can kind of see somewhere around here. This is where the weapon is taller than the player. No, it's not quite right. Yeah, we can try changing stuff with the Z. We just minus another 1 from that. It might be a tad off. Let's see. I think it'll be on top of us more often. Actually, I mean, it's just shifted down 1. See? So obviously the thing underneath us is on top of us, but the thing to the side of us we're on top of. We've basically just moved it around a bit. This feels more right. I'm gonna... dithering wise, obviously you can have fancy dithering. You have job. Do you have job, YouTube chatter? I'm thinking of a little dodgy maybe. But if I were to get the pixel and say every other pixel should be discarded, it would kind of do this effect at the border of each of them, right? A bit of overdraw maybe. But maybe it will make the gun sticking through the floor look a little bit less stupid. I'm not sure. I kind of want to see how it looks. This is very much a 2D issue, obviously. 3D, not so much of a problem. It's just clipping, I guess. But clipping feels more natural somehow than this. I don't exactly know what that would be. If we might have to move it down one and say tileset indices.x. Draw 1 pixel, discard 1 pixel. It's prepared, dude. How do I want to do this? You draw a dithered pattern across the entire screen for each row. Yeah, I'm aware. I can't really think of a better way to do this for now. I mean, the dithered pattern would be okay, right? Because they'd interlock. Limit it to row index -1, row index +1. Oh, you mean like, yeah, the entire blank space would be dithered. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm just curious to see how it would look. It might not work, but if basically we can say that entire row has some kind of splatter on it, it might look a little bit less jank, because you can pretend it's like your gun sticking through a tree or something. Let me think. So if we want to discard, if it's larger than row index +1 or less than row index -1, then we just immediately discard. Otherwise, if like screen pixel x, we'll need to work out how to do this. You know, divided by 2 is equal to 0, then discard. However we do this. And obviously we can do that. That's the idea, at least. Just every other pixel we discard. And then obviously you can have fancier dithering algorithms than that, but this I'll have to work out. We have tileset tile indices. Texel fetch. What does texel fetch do? Here. We're passing in map data textures, floored fragment tile position. You can use fragment offset in tile. Fragment offset in tile. This thing. Which is the fragment position in tiles minus fragment tile. Yeah, but that would be every other tile, right? Or no, is fragment offset... Is that not like a whole tile apart? I want to be 1 pixel over. I guess I can try. 0 to 16, 0 to 16, 0 to 16 for each tile. 0 to 1. Okay. So we say if fragment offset in tile dot x. I guess I can just still do the same divisible by thing. Oh, it's crashing. Unexpected less than. Expecting less than. What? Use the same thing you pass into the second texel fetch. This thing? Use the thing you pass into the second texel fetch. Oh, this other thing. Well, this would be the literal pixels we're drawing, right? I think. Like... pixels in texture? I don't know if that's quite the right name. That's maybe what I'd call it. Oh, I've got a less than here. That explains things. Hey, this looks sick. This is the effect I wanted, by the way, but just on everything. Probably don't want this. This is cool though, dude. This is cool. I love shaders. They're so cool. I guess I could do every other. Like I could actually do a like a crosshatch or something. Hang on a moment. If we don't want this. If it's larger than position.y. Oh, maybe it's less than and larger than in this case. And we'll just say we'll just do this. Sorry. I think that's gross. Hang on a moment. I go wash my hands quickly. I hate sneezing. It's my I'm here. That's how you know I'm not actually gross. Oh, I love this song, dude. Alright. Not quite right yet. We should try just drawing one row for now. Let's just try drawing the middle. It's not quite right. I think it was larger than and less than then. Or less than or equal to, maybe that's what we were missing. No, it's not it. Oh, this is it. That was the idea at least. If I shove this up a bit. Try another one. I mean, this just should be it. I feel like we're maybe just overriding things that we shouldn't be. Maybe we should bring back that Y thing, the W thing, so I think we got rid of that. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, I think that was the case. We got rid of the W. If output.w is less than 0.5, then discard. So if it's transparent, or if it's 50% transparent or whatever. I think it's output.w, right? Alright, that looks good. Hey, look at this! Not exactly it. We need a better dithering texture, but to me, at least, this looks less shit. There's something we can do here. Like obviously this isn't perfect, but this was the idea. So we'll say if it's .x is and equals 1 or something. I don't know. Is this how we do a crosshatch? Yes. I'd actually like... That's not quite right. It's kind of thinking we'd do every other one. It's not quite right. It's weird. We'd have to... Oh, and actually, this makes sense. We'd need to... Yeah, we need to add them together, right? Because as we go to the next row with this, it's not being shifted. X plus Y. Yeah, adding them together should be correct. That was my next thought. I'm thinking I might also just look up a dither pattern because you could just get them off the internet, right? Oh, it comes from Intertable. But I just wanted to get the basic idea. It's not it. Maybe, oh, I need to parenthesize it, yeah. Y remainder 2, 0. That's probably what it was doing. Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, this was my idea, actually. Now, if we were to... Actually, if we were to increase the Z by a bit, it would still look like it's on top of you, right? Even with this cross-hatching. Maybe we just increase the cross-hatching per depth. That makes sense. So we're still doing quite a bit of over-rendering and stuff. Like this step's a bit jarring, but if there was a step between them with even less dots, then it might not look so bad. Let me think. So we'll say if it's above 2, discard. Else, if it's within the 1 space, so I mean that's here. We'll do this. There's a lot of conditionals in here. I feel like there might be a nicer way to do this. So maybe I'm overthinking the conditional thing. And divided by 3, or I don't know. That might make it more dense. This should probably be the other way around. Divide by 2, divide by... or modulo, sorry. And then we set the Z to not be -1. Let's say. How's this look? So it's not exactly it, actually. Maybe -1 was fine. I think the modulo 3 thing isn't quite what I'd like. It's clearly not working. Can I do new lines? That's not it. Like it should be larger than or equal to. Oh, a sandwich maker. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I have a feeling that the next thing down here just has... because of the Z, it's like overriding it, right? I remainder n is faster when n is a power of 2 because it can be optimized to I and n minus 1. Okay, so we should be using 4. I have a feeling that it doesn't really matter what I do on the other side because I think it's being overridden by the Z on the next thing. Right? Like I think the Z on this row is too high. About -2. I don't know if this is quite right. I think it might still be overwriting out. I hope this and is being used. I'm actually not sure. Let me look up a dither pattern, by the way. GLSL dither discard pattern. Using a Bayer matrix. I was just wondering if maybe there was like a short little one on Wikipedia or something. GLSL dithering. Off-screen canvas. Here we go. Someone talking about Obra Dinn. Okay. Taking a grayscale value. Oh, this is for 3D dithering. Half dots and half black white dots. Oh, okay. No, we're kind of doing this. We need dither patterns. Oh, here we go. Dither punk. Okay. They're using brightness larger than 0.5, whatever. This is fine. Ah, here we go. They're showing a very large format. I'm reading this website, if you're curious. This is some fancy maths involved. Random noise. I guess we could use pseudo-random noise. That's what I was using X and Y for. If I just put math.random in, that's going to make it constantly fuzzy, right? Ordered dithering. Oh, here we go. I guess I could... I could pass in a set random pattern. And then do XY plus whatever is in the random pattern at that position on the screen. Right? Like if I created a noise texture the size of the screen and then were to pass that in as well. But I don't know how I'd pass it into the texture here. Oh, Bayer dithering. Uses a Bayer matrix. It's named after Bryce Bayer. Okay. Bayer dithering. And blue noise. Okay. GLSL Bayer dithering. Ah. Is this going to be quite a complicated thing, maybe? 2x2.glsl. Okay, it's complicated, but it's not horrifically complicated. I've found this GitHub. I don't necessarily know what the terms of service is. It's MIT. In GLSL, can you just include other GLSL files? This is someone's project from 12 years ago. There's 224 stars. Example. Index.frag. So they are... I don't exactly know how they're including it. I guess they're using some JSON. The whole dithering might be a bit overkill. You're not sure it will look without a different map drawing strategy. I just wanted to make use of dithering at some point anyway. I think when I introduced my lighting system, I'd rather it had a dithered edge instead of just being a perfectly clean circle. So I thought now might be a fun time to look into it. Because this idea of masking, right? Something I'll be doing. So I thought I'd at least look into it briefly. I think you're misunderstanding my goal, and that's okay. Is this Earthbound music now? Or Uma Musume music? Pretty sure this is Earthbound. Oh, this is Star Fox. Never mind. I don't remember there being this in Star Fox, but sure, why not? I only really played Star Fox Adventures anyway. About this particular problem, I think dithering would kind of solve what I want, because I can kind of see it, right? I can see the idea. Obviously, I can just continue using this discard thing for now. That's no problem. My idea was, on a row that you're on top of, fine, you're just on top of it. A row that you're next to would show like a few of the pixels through. One down here would maybe show... I mean, I guess it's an annoyance that we've got whole tiles. I suppose I could split it in half and say the top half of the tile would be sparse and the bottom half would be dense, and then immediately it goes into solid. Yeah, without popping. Well, that's what I was hoping, was to sort of... Yeah, This is kind of nice already. This is like silly music. I need a gun that's like really long. Maybe the sniper rifle. Let me try my idea of at least splitting the tile in half. So we can say pixels.x and y is remainder 2 is discard. We can say there might be a nice maths for this, so forgive me. So if pixels texture.y is less than 8. Hang on a moment. You get my maybe what I'm getting at. Why are you so messy? So if pixels texture y is less than 8, and I don't really know. I'm guessing you're an IVEC. How would I discard it more frequently? I don't know. Is this Squeak Squad? Remainder 3 is less than 1 or something? I don't really know. This is the coordinate in the tile set, mind you. Yeah? Yeah, I was thinking, I wanted it to be the coordinate within the tile set, so it should be... Well, actually, is this not it? This is weird to me still. Basically, my idea was I get paint out again. I wanted something like this. The top of the tile would show... Oh, you can't see my paint. Why is that? The top of it would be like this, and then the bottom would be a lot more dense. And then ideally, you know, it might be a bit more like this. Then at least it's less obvious when it goes straight into nothingness and like that. You get me? Without tile set indices. If you want in each tile, you have to do this. I guess that's this thing, right? You'll have to use without tile set indices. Fragment offset in tile multiplied by tile size. Okay. Maybe I'll just calculate that within that section then. This stuff. Yeah, I don't remember what that 0.5 is about, I'm gonna be honest. I need to increase the depth just a little bit. I don't really remember what the 0.5 thing is. Let's try cutting it and see what happens. Because I think we were trying to sample a bit further in, right? Quite working. I'm trying to think of this. If remainder 4 is less than 3 would make it more dense, right? Well, sorry, less dense. This should remove a third, 3/4 of the pixels, I'd have thought. Maybe that maths is off. It looks like it's happening on the bottom half and not the top half, doesn't it? You can see this diagonal pattern. Not quite right. So I've clearly got it back to front. It should be less than, it should be larger than 8. And then we've got this weird diagonal pattern. Kind of hard to tell because the pixel art is already kind of pixely. But you can, if you really stare, you can see that there's do I have a better gun for this? Maybe the shotgun? You can see like the diagonal lines on the top and the cross hatching on the bottom. I need a better version of that sparse than this. So this obviously is making it diagonal pattern. I guess I could do or. That seems a bit stupid. Do I need to add them together? I'm trying to recreate this, by the way. So right now we've got every other one. I'd like something maybe like every I don't know if like the exact amount that I'm going for, but you get the idea. Something maybe like this. Leave like a gap of 2 in between, for example. And if I were to do that, then I want to get, let's say x is 0, 1, 2, 3, y is 1, 2, 3. If I don't want the ones in the middle, those add together to be 2, these add together to be 4, these add together to be 6. I don't really know the calculation for this. Remainder, maybe instead of remainder, no, the remainder thing, I think that is correct. I could do, we could do remainder 3 is less than 2, but I think that just changes the position of the diagonal, right? Or is that good enough? It's still a diagonal. What about multiplied? This is something you can sandbox a little bit. Curious that it's actually still looks kind of the same. 2 is less than 2? Let's just pop in. Less than 1? Okay, it's clearly not it. I guess, wait, does multiplying it always result in a positive number? Factorial. X remainder 2 factorial is 0, or... I'll give that a go. This is where I'm not so good. Oh, isn't equal to 0. Is that going to give me... Let's have a look and see, I guess. Not... Maybe I miswrote it. Pixels and texture.x remainder 2 isn't equal to 0. And y, or... Right. Discard. I guess I could try and. That's just one and. Actually, what does that do? Ah, just doesn't let you. Alright. Okay, and now this kinda looks the same. Hang on. There must be a mathematical way to do this, where you, based on the pixel in tile.y, you apply that to a graph to work out how dense it should be based on the x, right? I don't know if I can... I don't know how it works with graphs, but it would simply be, you could have a linear behavior with number of discards on x, and then this would be as what did I call it? Pixel in tile.y. So at the very top, obviously up here, there will be nothing. There'll be let's say discard is red and green is the tile you see underneath. Everything above, you'd see everything. Everything underneath, you'd see nothing. And then this would be the dither pattern for each X row. So, you know, you'd see only a handful of green here, and then at the very top you'd see all of them. Yeah. You thought since those give you a hole at each XY, would they both even the inverse? How's everyone except those? Well, yeah, it just gives you the inverse pattern though, right? I'm not looking for the inverse pattern. I was trying to do this graph, but like this, where underneath we use our checkerboard. Originally, by the way, I'm trying something else now, maybe. We were going to use our checkerboard here. And then up here we'd use, you know, let's draw it in, checkerboard. And then here we'd use we'd leave a gap of 2. Like so. I haven't thought this through terribly, obviously. But, you know, that's the idea. But it will be slightly fewer holes than you have now, slightly more if you invert it. Is that true? Well, anyway, I'm thinking there must be a relationship between pixel in tile.y and this this remainder check, we can see as it grows, we increase the number of gaps. So I was thinking maybe we could do something like, instead of this, I'll just put this in a comment for now. Instead of this, we say pixel in tile Y becomes what we plug into. Hang on a moment. Pixel in tile Y becomes the number of holes, let's say divided by 4 or something. In discard density. I mean, we're doing an int. Can you allowed to do this? Are you allowed to do an integer division in GLSL? Maybe that doesn't work. We could just take it piecemeal for now, I suppose. At the very bottom, we should be discarding a number. And then we would say x plus y. Remainder 2 is equal to this. That would be our normal thing. No, how could you do remainder? True. Okay. Well, let's quarter it. Or divide it by 4, sorry. Quarter? Divide by 4? Yeah. And that means that at the very, very middle, we would have this gap of... Well, we'd have 4, actually. Maybe we divide it by 8. Whatever. Well, that would give us our current behavior. So we do it by 4. We should have quarters, roughly. Ish. So the very top quarter, then this quarter, then this quarter, then the bottom. And I don't know, but can we just plug this straight in here, how that looks? It might look a little stupid. Just curious. It's a little stupid. Hang on a moment. I might just change this texture to make this easier to see. Yeah, you can see it's forming a diagonal in there. So, how about I just do the X and just see how that looks? It will do solid lines, but it might make it easier to see. It does not do solid lines. In fact, it's actually making a decent looking pattern. Hang on a moment. It's a bit grid-like, which is, I think, what I wanted to fix, but... And at the very bottom, it's not doing anything at all. It's fine. Oh. Hang on, what is this? Oh, equals 0, sorry, not isn't equal to 0. Let's see how this looks. Okay, there's a weird strip in the middle. I don't really know why that is. What's forming that? If I adjust this discard density a little bit. I guess the maximum will look like that. If I just pass it directly in. Super dense, except for at that top line. Obviously. If I minus 8, does that do diddly shit? No, of course not. I'm fucking around. This is the sandboxing. How did you divide by 8? This, I would have thought this would give us a similar pattern to what we were seeing before, right? Where the top half would look different to the bottom half. And it does. So instead of equals 0, we could say divided by 16 is equal to discard density. And now this will make, I think, the top. Is that? This might have lost my mind a little bit. I was thinking this might be top down, like the top might be super dense. Do x plus y. I'm really fucking around. This is the kind of stuff I kind of enjoy fucking around with, though. I don't know about you. This is just if it's equal to y. Interesting that it still does that. Unless it's... Wait, hang on. Is it using this calculation? Is this even being used? Am I being really fucking stupid? This definitely is being used, right? No, I'm being stupid. Ah, oh, fuck. Why was I seeing that behavior before then? Hang on, let's make it next to us. I'm being very stupid, I'm sorry. Shit, it's 11:30. I have an excuse. Alright, here we go. This is the section next to us. Now we do this. Okay, looking good. Actually, is that correct? If we just discard, this should make this entire row invisible, right? Oh wait, hang on. Stop this. No, This is a little complicated, huh? Let me just double check. We're still getting the pattern below us. Oh, whoops. The weapon bias is definitely fucking with us. Yeah. I just need to check a lot of things. Okay, this is fine. We're now working on the thing right next to us. That's confirmed. So if I set the discard density to pixel y divided by 4, and then we check this. Yeah, sure, why not? See what this looks like. It does seem... I can't really tell. This mice needs to leave me alone. Maybe I should make the gun like a flat texture. So instead of this... Now we can see the pattern a little easier. Interesting. So it's sort of working, but not really. Like, you can see there's this bit here where it's kind of getting adjusted near the top, but then there's this strip in the middle where it's kind of fucked up. That's weird. Let me think. We're certain this is 0 to 16, right? Oh, hang on, maybe this is it. Instead of divide by 4, we try divide by 8. This is weird. This is now just y divided by 16, which means it's always on. What about multiply? I really am fucking about, I'm sorry. I like fucking about like this thing. Let's chill. Oh, it's interesting. It's cut off the... No, it's not cut off the top corner. That's why it's meant to look. They released an official C++ documentary a few hours ago. I didn't know. I was streaming. I just start randomly using sine and cosine and see how that looks. Curious. I always just chuck this shit in like free because it's fun to see how it looks. So maybe it generates a silly pattern somehow. Ah, float to int. Hang on a moment. Sine produces a float. Divided by its sine of itself. I don't know. Are you allowed to do that? No. Not like this, at least. Just to give me something slightly different. Why did it do that? Float to int. Yeah, not allowed to do that. I don't really know what an int of a sine of a int will do. Nothing, it turns out. I don't know. It's amazing that it just keeps looking the same. I guess the sign of an end of a thing is just not quite it. Ah, the magic button. Like here I thought, if we're at 16, it's considered as 4. If it's in the middle, then it'll be 8. It's considered as 2. Then at the bottom it's considered as 0. And then that could be the number of gaps in between. Just don't know the thing. If you don't know how good it is, it might be interesting to watch. Oh, thank you. How hard is assembly to deal with? It's very simple. There's a limited instruction set, but it's also really complicated because it's written barely above machine code. So very basic things take a lot of instructions, so it can be quite complicated. That makes sense? Like you're just... I haven't done any assembly. I just watched content about it, so I'm a terrible person to ask. But you're basically just setting registers and loading data and moving a program counter and stuff usually, right? Like the actual what you're doing is not that different to moving around on a ticker tape. You're saying move here, do this, move here, do this, move here, do this, move here, do this. Increment this counter, read this counter, decrement this counter. Good to learn to read, but not to write. Yeah, I mean, if you want to write like a N64 game, there's pretty sure there's C compilers for that now. Anyway, this number is what I want. I just need to know how to relate to this pattern. So if this is x is 0, and I want there to be... Sorry, I should write somewhere else. Basically want this pattern. Maybe if I draw the pattern now, I can work it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry that this is how dense I am. Rotate. So I've got this grid. I ideally want basically the bottom to be fully filled in, and then like every other one, and then like every 2, however that may take form, and then every like 3, and then every 4 or something. So it might end up looking like this, or something like this at least. So this will be y is 16. I've drawn it as 8, so let's say it's 8 and 0. And then this is 0, well, I'll do it not normally. 0 to 8. The numbers have been simplified a little bit, but I guess we could double it, you know, if you did this. This is only half of it, mind you. whatever. You get the idea, right? Like it gets more sparse near the top. You get the idea, I think. My idea was up here we've got 16. We want to check if the X is something unlikely, whereas down here we want to check if it's something likely. So I wanted to discard if the Y. Assuming it is 16, by the way. I guess we could have file size dot. Sure. Is less than, and then this might be upside down, maybe. Must be integral. You're a vec2, yeah, of course. Sorry? You're a float, right? No. I mean, it's made a beautiful thing. It's kind of actually what I want, but I just want this different. Does that make sense? Like my calculations are correct, but I need it to be spread out across the whole thing rather than literally like the way I drew it. So like the number of dots is correct. The gap needs to be bigger between each of them. You know what I mean, right? Like I indeed only want like one dot at the top row and every other dot on the bottom row, but it needs to be stretched like, you know? How the fuck do I do that? So currently I'm doing X remainder this. How do I adjust my triangle to be like, you know, like stretched? How do I do that? So I'm only checking X. I should be checking something else, I guess. Because we're only checking if the very end, like, yeah. Y plus X. Okay. I guess that's similar to what we were doing earlier. Not involving the tile size. Okay. Is this not what we had earlier? Yeah. I mean, it's doing something. That's not quite it yet. Just try X. Okay. Somehow this looks the same. Let's go back to this one. Like, it's the less than that's important, right? That is odd. It's the less than that's important. Yeah. Because it means as the discard density, as the Y gains, then we discard more things, right? That was the idea, and we are checking it against the tile size. So I guess, like, you understand that I'm trying to make like this, instead of have every other one colored in, I want it to be like every two. I feel like the maths for this must be pretty simple. I feel stupid for not immediately knowing. This is where x is 0 and 1. This is where it's 0 and 3. 0 and 3. I guess in reality I'd like it to be. Class size shouldn't matter. Well... shouldn't it? I guess it's just gonna want it to be 16. I mean, I could do this. I don't know what that will accomplish, but I'm kind of curious. It does exactly what you think it does. Great. Is this just discard every other one? Oh, wait, hang on, what? Hang on a hot minute. Sandboxing. Hang on. Hang on, have I accidentally stumbled across something cool? How about discard density divided by 2 or something? Ooh. Isn't equal to 0, yeah. And whatever I've got here seems pretty cool. I wouldn't mind if it was a bit more random, but this kind of works. So you want me to try... Oh, I'm still doing plus y, am I? Hey, this is looking alright. Kind of curious that this isn't modifying anything. It's like down now. Already in fuck about town. That might be approaching fine. I kind of want to take into account the world space coordinates a bit, just to make each so each tile doesn't have the exact same pattern. Oh wait, I kind of like what I've got here. The last check in the else if is messing with the pattern. What? You think so? I don't think it is. It's only if it's... The last bit. That makes sense though, doesn't it? Is it not row index plus 1? Oh no, wait. Maybe this should be row index. Larger than and less than, maybe, is that what you're thinking? Oh, wow. Yeah, that was doing something. Okay, this is kind of looking... Yeah, this makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I was wondering why we were getting such perfect dots, I'm going to be honest. We were passing in some real random trash. Yeah, and that should be inside the block as well. Inside... There's a separate... Why? It's only passed if we're checking a row outside of 2 rows away. Right? Well, hang on, this doesn't do anything then, right? Should this be 3 and this be larger than equal to plus 2? Try it. Sure. Okay. It's not quite right, but yeah. I guess really I was thinking else if we're on the same row, if we're on that row. This wasn't quite what I intended. No, actually, you're completely right. Hang on, let me think. Yeah, I basically wanted there to be a branch for... This is our current row. This is 1 row away. This is 2 rows away. Current row to be completely discarded. This row to be partially discarded. Or this half of this row. Oh, whoops. And I suppose this half of this row, so I should invert things a bit. And then mostly discarded and then completely discarded, or maybe a bit further away. Yeah. Yeah, it's tedious. I think assembly is. Now, as for how, I guess I'd have to have a separate check for things above and below the end of the row. Right. If the Y is above, then we need to have an inverted density, whereas if it's below, I don't know how that much below will come into play, but you know. Let me increase these numbers a little bit. It's Donkey Kong. So I have one like this. I don't know exactly the right numbers for this. You'll have to forgive me. I'm sort of making this up. But the vibe is there, if that makes sense. Use a word that's now not allowed. Oh. Not quite. Let's make sure this looks normal. Metal. F-Zero has like a metal track. I didn't know. Hmm. I'm really fucking around. Hmm. Okay, above needs to be inverted. Better. Oh. Ah, Super Smash Brothers. Feels so fancy. like it's off by 1. Hmm. I'm kind of losing track of what I'm doing. Whatever you are looks kind of okay, actually. Hmm. Hmm. Hang on a moment. Antondi. Am I fixing being able to shoot through walls? Not right now. Oh, math music. feel like I have some of this back to front. I think I have this back to front. Hmm. I'll make it available while it's in development. No, I mean, you can just read it on screen, I guess, but no. I don't have plans for making the source code visible. This is so weird. But I guess it's the tile underneath. We're basically seeing like all the different layers like overlaid on top of each other. I'm kind of getting a bit tired. Maybe to make my life a little easier, we could just view it as the X. Could just see lines. Yeah. It's just Fire Emblem. This isn't Final Fantasy. This is Fire Emblem music, by the way. Hmm. Think about holding shift and walking into a wall makes you do this. Sometimes. You have a goal in mind. I'm actually pretty happy with how the tile on top of you looks right now. So I'm gonna do this. It's this one when it's basically next to you. Maybe that's not the issue. Yeah, I don't know, that's what I've been experimenting with. Oh. Yeah, I have a feeling that this is no, that's not I think it can't be done. I can't help but think that I'm nearly at an effect I'm happy with. It just has to be good enough for me, as far as I care. What I'm currently, like, whatever I've got here is okay. Not perfect yet. I would like to somehow avoid discarding air. I think they should always be on top. I think the effect I've got for the tile just above me looks okay, minus that weird line at the bottom. I just want the one next to me to be inverted, and I thought by minusing tile size from it that would do that. Like, I like this pattern on the left, but I want it to be flipped. How do I do this? Because then it would be pretty good. I thought it was this one. I don't know, I'm quite happy with this approach right now. Just need to mess with it. What does it look? Interesting. Where did this line come from? Hmm. Where did this bottom line appear? Oh, got rid of it. Now it's on the top. You look fun. You look even better. Now, why is that? Ooh. That looks okay. Yeah, the continuity thing is the issue. I'm aware about the Z thing. Basically got like a row here, may have some elements up here that are always like on top, for example. I just think I'm pretty close to an effect that I'm okay with. I'm fine with how this looks. I just want the thing on the same row to look better. Maybe this is the problem. I'm always drawing the thing on my own. Well, minus Z puts it further into the ground. So really it is the further away things. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I was so close. I think I can be. Oh, it's inverting it now. And then if I bring back this... Am I seeing the bottom of the other one? Oh no, wait, maybe this is what I was looking for. Dude, it's that Pikmin song that was in the fucking radio. This is pretty close to what I wanted. No, it's not doing it. I'm basically only doing it for things above. If it's the other way around, it's not. I realize it's not something I'm interested in. I'm just saying I'm only doing it for the rows. The rows with higher Z. How much they can impact the row above them. So this is kind of a... The idea is the thing you're next to... Fuck off, mouse. The bottom of the thing you're... The bottom of the thing you're next to should be very dense. The thing to the bottom left should be basically opaque, if not literally opaque. I think literally opaque is probably correct. Because then you're underneath it. I mean, this is, I think, what I was going for, isn't it? It's a little horizontally biased, but without spending hours on this, I think it kind of does for now. My main issue is that you can now point your Godot to the void, or whatever impact that has. Obviously, it's a little jarring as you're moving against a wall. If I switch to a gun that isn't bright pink, you can see how it might really look. I think this is fine, actually. It looks like it basically looks like there's like a second layer on top of the wall that's like a little fluffy. And I think if I fix that horizontal bias in this pattern I've come up with, it will look better. Obviously this doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I can't really help that. Could clip the gun if it's going into a wall, like Counter-Strike does. This kind of looks how I want, I'm gonna be honest. Obviously without having like a per pixel shader. But it does a good enough job, I think, compared to how it was before. With a better pattern, you could certainly hide more sins. And I was thinking, like, if I do decrease the depth to -2 and make the thing underneath you not completely blank, it might look even better. So actually, like, you know, while you're against this wall, you could still see, like, a little bit of you. Which is why I was experimenting with -2. I think this will break things, I think, if I do this. This is a song about Pikmin, by the way. It doesn't really look like an overhang anymore, though, obviously. It's crazy that the Japanese for Pikmin is Pikumin. I think they're saying, where the fuck are you, little Pikmin? Picking up Duracell batteries. Bad Pikmin. The banger, if only it's a little bit crushed. This is a gun with a bias, by the way, like the player is basically sticking through it. Actually, maybe this looks okay. How do you... I don't know, I've been staring at this for too long. Hello. If I do this and then change the density just a touch. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The Pikmin music goes hard there. It's so silly. I think this is fine. By picking an odd number, it seems to decrease the bias a little bit. I don't know if my my reload assets works with the rocket launcher. Oh, it totally does. Hot reloading, dude. Maybe the horizontal bias is kind of nice, actually. It's kind of harder to pick out a pattern in the noise, even though there is a pattern. You'd have to really be like a nerd to sit here and look at the pattern for this. Actually, honestly, I think this might be it. I think to an untrained eye, literally anyone but us, this might be... Do I have to reload assets like this? There we go. It's a bit like, who's beeping me? That's Christopher. She's done gaming. Okay, I can stop in a moment. I have cool game progress to show you in a moment. Shame to stop during the Pikmin music. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is... I don't want to say perfect, but this is good. Think about how we were at the start of the stream. We had no depth. We were using some hard-coded bias. And now you can stand like kind of on top of, kind of under something. Like I'm not 100% sure about it. But like without a ton of tweaking, I think at a glance this looks interesting. I think someone playing this and putting their gun in the wall might be like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then like move on, you know, because you'll be not really against the wall. You'll be running around like this. You'll be like, "Oh fuck, there's mice to shoot and stuff." But then, you know, if you're against a wall like this and you're aiming your gun through it like this, you'll be like, "Oh, it's kind of cool." Might look weird on non-foliage. Yeah, and then we'll just have to think about it, and or maybe come up with a better noise. I was thinking, it could be a tile parameter. I was thinking if we had a proper dither pattern, it would just work on anything. Like gamers these days, thanks to the power of fucking what's the word? Direct render, not indirect render pipelines or whatever, and they've stopped using FXAA and they've started using dithering for transparency and stuff because it's a pain to do alpha and these newer methods. People are kind of used to seeing the weird dither artifacts and they kind of accept it as being transparency, I think. Holy shit. What a banger. Anyway, the way it's working right now is like both, you have like a few layers in overlapping on each other. There's a lot of Pikmin vocals, weirdly. Everyone's interfering with everyone else a little bit. The row right next to you starts densest at the bottom and works its way up. The row above you starts least densest and works its way up. So that means the one to your bottom left is kind of like a mixture, I think. Okay, we got into the WarioWare music. Alright, I think this is a good spot to end for now. We've spent long enough on this. And, you know, every day the game starts looking more and more interesting, right? In terms of efficiency, it's pretty bad. I am going to maintain, as long as the game's running at, like, the frame rate cap in debug mode, I'm fine. It's not a competitive shooter. If it's running at 400 FPS, 480 FPS with debug symbols and asserts, then it's fine. Like one of the main reasons. Oh, thank you, What If Theory. One of the reasons that I'm so happy about sort of low-res pixel art is that you can get away with more expensive rendering techniques because there's just less to render. The screen is like 144 pixels by 120 or something stupid. If I have to apply an effect to every pixel on the screen, it's nothing. It's a bit like how Lethal Company has those like crazy real-time ray traced lighting fog, and obviously the game doesn't run perfectly, but it would run much worse if it was at a higher resolution. You're rendering at your native res. That's true. That's true. Regardless, well, so they're saying if I go full screen, my frame rate would do it. Because it still seems to be going okay. I think there's worse things for performance. Like right now, the fragment chamber runs many times. That's fair. That's a fair thought. Well, never mind. Disregard what I said then. It's expensive. It's nice though, isn't it? I think this looks pretty cool. Anyway, I'm gonna end there. It's time to go to bed. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow, maybe. No, it's fine. I mean, I have a good computer, mind you, so... Anyway, see you guys. I could always turn, like, allow people to turn these settings off and stuff. You know, that's what settings are for. Good night for now. See you guys. Bye-bye.